All right, welcome everyone to our monthly edition of ICC Digital Codes Premium. We're going to do a webinar. We go over all the features of the ICC Digital Codes and our Digital Codes Premium software here. I have a special guest today, Ed Salurso here. I'm going to turn the presentation over to you, but still keep talking for a second. I'll let Ed introduce himself after I'm done talking here, but we did release some great new features. As always, we continue to improve Digital Codes Premium by adding more content, more features and everything. We just had a great ICC annual meeting in St. Louis past week, and we released a couple new applications that are available when you have Digital Codes Premium. So with that, Ed, I'll let you take over here. You have control of the screen and can present how you want.
Right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Ed Salurso. I am a product manager for various digital products, and two products that I've worked very closely with and helped launch about a little over a week ago now are Premium Answers and our ICC AI Navigator. I'm going to do a presentation to show you where to find these on Digital Code, and then I'll walk you through each feature and show you what you can see.
Ed, I'm going to break in just a little bit here. I don't know if it's
Yep.
just me. You're a little bit muted on your microphone.
All right, let me see if I can improve that.
Yep. Other people have confirmed, so go ahead and take a pause there and try a couple things.
Yep, hold on one second. It may be using my other microphone. There's two microphones here. So let me just, I'm sharing screen now. Let me open this thing back up really quickly. See if I can get it to do better. Sorry, folks.
No problem. You want me to pull the presentation back for a minute and go over a couple other things, or you feel good?
Hold on one second. I am gonna, it doesn't want to show me. I admit that I use Teams all the time. I am terrible with WebEx. And not yet. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing screen. I'm gonna check my microphone here.
No problem. I'll share my screen for a little bit. We'll circle back around. But this is the information I'll cover at the end here. We'll let Ed get his microphone going here. Apologize for the delay. But yeah, the first 15 minutes or so, we'll go over our new AI Navigator and our Premium Answers. But as we go through, we'll come back here and I'll kind of go over what the Digital Codes Premium. So what Ed's going to explain here are the applications that are included with Digital Codes Premium. And when you go to our website, that codes.iccsafe.org, that's where we have all our digital codes. There is a basic view for many of the I codes on there and some of the state amended codes. But then we also have digital subscriptions with licenses that will open up all these different features here, and we'll learn how they all integrate with being able to view all the different types of content, have the note-taking features and collaboration. Isn't that true, Ed? Let's test your microphone.
It is. So is this any better?
Not much. We may have to go through with it, but it's still a little bit
Hold on one
shaky.
second.
So,
I'm just seeing what I can do. It's put this noise removal setting on. That's better.
it's a little better. I'll go
All
ahead
right.
and finish up this slide here, and then I'll turn it back over to
Okay.
you. And if it's so bad, then we may have to restart. But yeah, going through some of the tools and features that are going to be available in these titles are the ability, first of all, to copy, paste, and print if you're doing individual code sections. The ability to do advanced search. And what's great is that when you have these titles, you're going to have access to several of the previous cycles as well, too. So if you are looking in IBC 2024, which we just released this year, you're still going to have access to previous editions, for example, of 2021, 2018, 2015, going back several cycles. We do encourage, if you haven't tried a free trial, it really is free. If you see that link on our homepage, you're able to do that for 14 days without any obligation. That's going to open up access to all these features that we're going to go over here, including the new AI Navigator and the Premium Answers. So I will pause. Cadet Hez is raising his hand.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so good, man.
All right. Hold on one second. This is crazy. I'm using their audio settings. I'm going to.
All right. Well, I will continue on, and then we'll just I'll continue with these slides here, and hopefully it's better. If not, then I may have to navigate with you and do
Okay.
a little explanation as well too. You can check the chat, see if people are hearing you as well too. It may be just me as well. But anyways, when you acquire a Digital Codes Premium license, you are able to get singles, collections, or complete. So when we use the word premium, premium doesn't refer to a specific set of titles. Premium are the features that are unlocked when you have the license. So for example, IBC would be a premium single. But then if you're getting multiple singles, you may want to consider a collection, which would be, for example, all the I codes, the 15 I codes would be a collection. And then if you're combining multiple collections, let's say the I codes or our commentaries or some of the state amended collections, then you're probably likely going to be up to about the cost of what a complete license, and the complete will have over 1,500 titles in it. And many of these standard development organizations, you'll have content in there with them as well. So when we work to provide this content, it is going to come straight with approval from the source of those standard setting organizations. And depending on the level of our agreement with them, most of them will unlock those premium features, copy paste. Some may be in view only, but we try to include and increase the number of titles included with complete every month as we go forward. So there will be a difference in prices depending on which individual title you may be interested in. You see those on the left hand there. And on the right side, there's different collections depending on how many titles are in each one of those or which particular source of that content is from. But to be frank, for the most part, people do go for the Digital Codes Premium Complete. As mentioned, it has over 1,500 titles now. We keep adding more for that. And when you acquire these licenses, there are 3 discounts. There is a discount available for ICC members if you're an annual member there, and also a quantity discount depending on how many you buy at the same time. And then if you're able to do a 3-year plan with your budget, it increases the discount even further. So these licenses can be assigned and dedicated to single users, or you have the ability to share them in groups. And we have also for larger organizations, we can deploy dedicated seats really easily on our DCP Enterprise. So what I will do is I will go ahead and turn it over to Ed. Hopefully the microphone is all set. If not, we're going to go through the next 10-15 minutes letting Ed explain it, and hopefully we can have our tech people clean that up if it is a problem. But hopefully you are all set, Ed, and I'm going to end it and turn it over to you.
I am doing my very best. Is this better?
Ed, you sound great. Not as great as you sound in person, but I think we got enough to go by. So I turned over the presenter to you. You are
Okay.
free to go ahead and take it. I'll monitor the chat. Everyone, please feel free to post questions in the chat. If it's something important, pertaining to what Ed's showing, I'll interrupt them. But of course, we will always leave time at the end, 10 or 15 minutes, and circle back, make sure we get all the questions. So I will mute myself, and thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Phil. Sorry about the audio issues. I think it is a WebEx thing that hates my microphone, but we will go through. I am Ed Salerso. I work as a product manager here, and I have worked on both of the features I'm about to show you. I'm going to show you first how you can find the new features. We do have an ad running for each feature. So when you're on your digital codes, when you log in, whatever your view is, it will have the banner ads. It does note that the 2024 iCodes are available. It also has banner for Premium Answers. It has a banner for AI Navigator as well. So either of those features, if you click Learn More here, you will see the feature. Additionally, in the recent update section, both features are highlighted there. So if you check that section from time to time over the next few weeks, you will see them highlighted there. I'm going to take you into those features by going under Premium Tools. So again, if you go to your menu and you go to Premium Tools, both are now the top 2 features that are listed. We're going to take a look at Premium Answers first. Premium Answers is a database of questions that have been asked to the ICC technical team from our members and their answers. So they take in, it is a member benefit of the ICC to be able to ask such questions to our technical services team that are expert in our iCodes. And they take in many of these questions every week. They are nominating the best of those questions now to be highlighted as what we are calling premium answers. So It's a database of that content. The content has been edited to be anonymized and to make sure that it's as broadly applicable as it can be. What's really important when you're looking at the feature is you can, if you're on the feature page, you can search within the feature for specific text you're looking for. So I just searched for interior. So if I were interested in questions related to building interiors, this is a text search that'll search out all the questions and answers that mention that. I can also select a specific title that I'm interested in. If I am most interested in questions from the International Building Code, I can sort that. As you can see, it's reduced that down to 41 current questions and answers. And this will be growing very consistently, likely every week or two, new batches of content will be added to it. If I want to choose a topic, I can choose a topic. I'm going to choose balcony, fine. There currently are 3 questions in there about balconies. So those are different filters you can use if you're looking at the Premium Answers, essentially the database view of the feature. I'm going to click one of these questions. When I click through to an item, it is going to show me the question. So we have a summary of the question that allows you to sort of do a quick glance and see if you're interested. You know, are balconies of combustible construction permitted on buildings of type 1 or 2 construction? There will be a longer version of the question, much closer to how it was originally asked. And in some cases, it will be quite a bit longer. And there will be the answer from our team below that. So in this case, you know, those answers are going to vary between 1 and 4 paragraphs. What's really important is the answers typically always specifically cite sections of the code, and we will be linking those sections of the code directly from the answers themselves. So if you've read this answer and they've cited this section of code, you can click a link at the bottom. It's going to take you to that section, in this case, section 705.2.3.1, and you're now there able to read the content directly. Another important thing to note is that if you are just reading content within an iCode, actually the answers are tagged in the other direction as well. So in this case, we are showing here under Premium Codes Insights that a premium answer does exist. And if you launch that, it comes up right there. The exact same content comes right up there for you. So we're pretty excited about this. Our technical services team has worked answering these sorts of questions for many, many years. And you know, we think that we'll pretty quickly build up a nice group of content that will answer a lot of questions that people have, and it becomes really useful from within the content as well for people to find answers to questions.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in a little bit here too, Ed. Microphone still is a little tough to hear, so I'll just recap a couple things. Actually, while you're there, click and clear off that screen. Can you click on that Insights tab? And I'm going to recap what Ed was talking about, the Premium Answers. But when you're within a title, over the table of contents in the upper right there, we've actually added all this new content that obviously is proprietary to ICC. You're not going to find this information anywhere else. So we are discussing the Premium Answers. And when you're within a title and you click on one of that tab there are different categories. Premium Answers is one. So if you were to click on there, then it would filter just the code sections that have these premium answers, and you could jump right to them. And Ed, I'm going to recap a little bit too, and I'll let you jump back in here. But the premium answers, and you can confirm with this, Ed, right? They come from people who have asked our technical services team questions for the code interpretations, correct?
Correct.
So yeah, as a membership benefit, you're able to ask individual, original questions and get an answer back as part of your membership with the ICC. And what we've done is we've kind of taken those best answers, and there are hundreds now, and they keep increasing. And we've kind of formatted them so they maybe aren't as specific to a state or whatever, but using the same content of the best answers. So Ed was showing you, actually, what were you going to show us there, Ed, here? Do you want to display something?
I was just showing the link from within the content to that particular piece of content.
Yeah, and that's the great thing, because you would need to have, well, the iCodes actually are all included. You have free basic view, but it will link back to those, and the titles that you do have a license for, you're able to create those notes on as well too, and view those premium answers in those title sections as well. Actually, one more thing, Ed. Hate to bother to
Sure.
ask you to do this, but could you go back and show them where to find this at the beginning? I'll just, overview and wrap that up there too. So, yeah, the premium answers, we will continue to add more of them in there. I think Ed mentioned there's about 300 and there's hundreds more in the queue, but it's just kind of another unique experience that you have. You see that from the home page. We did align these new features right up there. So you can click right on them and you can search for topical terms there that may be related, or you can look for specific questions. We've heard some people are just going through and reading answers just for fun on their lunchtime. So,
One
yeah,
other feature to highlight, Phil, and hopefully you can hear me, is that your three most recently viewed questions will also appear. So if you're logged in, you can go back. If you had something you previously looked at, you're going to get shortcutted to it on the right-hand side here.
no, absolutely. We encourage people to look and use that and provide feedback on the answers that they're viewing as well, too. You able to show our new AI Navigator now, Ed?
I am. So I'm going to go back to the menu.
Yeah, once again, you can see that from the menu on the left side. We have done some reorganization because we've added so many more features, but that's where you can find the AI Navigator and the Premium Answers. And yeah, this is a really nice application that Ed and his team has developed, able to ask common language questions.
Yep.
And it works much better than any other AI code question application that we've seen here. They put a lot of work in it. Thanks, Ed.
So on the top level, hopefully people can hear me reasonably well. We do have a page that gives you the details. So if you click through from one of the ads or somewhere else, you'll get to a page that gives you just more information on the feature and how we built it. We have tried to give people a lot of background as to what our goals were. The primary goals that we had in building this, because it is very tricky to analyze code content with large language model artificial intelligence, because the content itself actually is very repetitive in the way it's structured. It does take quite a bit of training of the AI. So our two primary goals were high accuracy and providing consistent answers and direction. I think these are very important for a tool. So this is not working. It does use OpenAI's technology, but is not really working the way you would get answers if you just asked ChatGPT these answers. It's pulling from a closed loop of ICC content, and it's pulling it in from a database and a structure that allows it to give you a more focused response and direct links back to the content.
Yeah, I'll jump in and reiterate that point. That's what makes it so important too, as well. Some of these other programs that are out there, and along with anything you search on, Google, Chrome, or ChatGPT, is taking it from the whole internet universe, so to speak, where there may be something that could be an error. There may be giving you 16 paragraphs on an answer that we can provide in just one. And the reason is because we are limiting the search to just our iCode content. So, it's coming from the authoritative source. Currently, it's default set to 2021 iCode cycle, but we've added a couple extra features in the dropdown where you can go back to 18 or 15.
Yep.
With the intent in the future of perhaps adding more different choices there. But yeah, as Ed mentioned, closed loop, so you're getting just a specific result from iCode content.
So yeah, I will highlight a couple of good things about that. We do have updates from the team on that page as well. I am going to go through when you hit Use AI Navigator or select the link from the left-hand side, you are going to go direct to the feature page. So we're now there talking to the AI Navigator. It does have an introduction of itself right there to tell you that it defaults to the 2021 iCodes, but will answer 2018 or 2015 codes, which you can change with change code cycle. We've also put tips for using it. It is programmed to give you brief answers and the most relevant links it can find. So we do encourage people to ask 500 character or less questions. We do encourage people, if they want to restrict it, it is going to search. And I think for most people, it will work best if you search over the ICC code books so that you find sort of the most appropriate links. But it also you can prompt it to look in just a specific code book. It may still tell you some results from a different code book as well, but it will generally then return results from that code book. We do have it programmed right now because it is providing a very direct linked answer. We tell people that are doing it that the best way to get the best results from it are to ask it one question at a time. If you have a multi-part question, ask it 2 or 3 questions, but it's generally going to provide the best possible information if you ask it one question at a time. That generally goes for most AI that you use. And it currently supports RI codes. We are training it for additional code content. So some custom codes that the ICC generates, some expanded content, and also content from other ICC products, including something like Premium Answers, we think is actually perfect to integrate the content for. I'm going to ask it a couple questions to show you how it is working. So are drinking fountains required in restaurants is one of our sample questions. Typically responses are going to be returned anywhere from about 8 to about 30 seconds. It does, in the time it's doing it, go through several loops of evaluating its answer. So it's not actually giving you the first answer it comes up with. So in this case, it's giving us the answer from the IPC, Chapter 4, Section 410.4. And we've asked this question quite a bit, and we know this is a good reference. You can rate your opinion of the answer, and we encourage anybody using the tool to please do so, because we are using that feedback to help train the tool. What's important to also note is it's going to give you up to 3 referenced sections, typically going from left to right as what it thinks is the best match, and then what it thinks are other good matches. When you click that, it's actually going to pull the text from that section directly there, so you don't have to navigate around. You have your question, the answer that our AI Navigator has provided you, and then the text that it is pulling that answer from, all on the screen together, which I think works pretty well. Most people have been pretty happy of seeing this. You can choose to jump to the section within the chapter as well if you want to do that. So you can leave AI Navigator and say, I know I want to read from this section now. Here I go. I'm going to ask it one more question. And again, plain language questions do work best. You can ask it highly technical questions, and it's got a reasonable shot if that technical wording is used within the AI codes and within the code that it's searching to find you good matches. But if you want to know, is there a minimum ceiling height in a basement of a new home, you can word the question just like that. And again, it's going to take a few seconds. We've built a very unique environment and a unique self-evaluation system that it is using. It is really trying to develop confidence. If it doesn't have confidence in the answer, it's actually going to tell you that it cannot determine the best answer. We have programmed it specifically to do that. It is a great weakness of AI in most cases that untrained AI often does express a lot of confidence in answers that it's not actually very confident in. So the programming behind this tool has that confidence in it. It's given me a longer answer in this case because there is more to say, and it has noted that there is conditional logic. So I asked that this question purposefully because there are actually multiple possible answers depending on the use. It's noted those different possible answers to me, and it's given me 3 appropriate sections again to look at that. So it's not actually a very simple question, the second question that I asked it, because it is, there are multiple possible answers. It is able to tell you when there are multiple possible answers, and it is able to provide you links that allow you to research further. This tool is called AI Navigator for a reason. We really see the best use of this, of asking code questions, and then using it to really take you to that code. In most cases, we don't view it as a stand-in for reading that code. We don't view it as a stand-in for technical experts, but we do view it as a really helpful tool that can make finding what you want within the codes more powerful than just a basic 2 or 3 word search. Hopefully that all came through, Phil. If you want me to highlight anything else, do let me know. But that's the demo. That shows off the feature pretty well, I hope.
No, definitely appreciate it. It was a little choppy. I think people are understanding though. So always wanted to have the person who was involved from the beginning developing this. As mentioned, it did take a lot of time to put into it, and we know that there's other products out there touting artificial intelligence for asking code questions, but we really wanted to take our time with this, so it provides great answers that are concise in asking what's there, not just giving you, 20 more links that you would have to search on your own. And I know Ed kind of showed through there, but as you can see on those, plain language question, it will tell you exactly where it's getting that information in from as they summarize it, in an easy paragraph. But those 3 links underneath there would show you. And, when we were demoing this at our annual conference, it was really interesting because, some people tried it out and asked a question. They knew what the answer was, but didn't realize that the same question had, a different scenario
Yeah.
in one of the different books.
Yeah, we ran a contest called Stump the Bot at the annual meeting, and we definitely had people whose main goal was to stump it, and we certainly had some people that were successful in doing it. It is still an AI tool. It is not a person that knows the code inside and out. But we were pretty happy that more than 2 out of 3 people were giving it thumbs up. When we rated the feedback that we got, we were getting more than 2/3 of people happy with the answers they were getting. We think that will improve over time as well. That's why we're encouraging people to use it and give us feedback. We're actually starting to run some focus groups with people that are early adopters and are using it quite a bit. And we'll be using a lot of the questions that people have input into it and rated well on expanding the training set for the tool. The tool actually has a set of questions that the answers have been evaluated by the ICC technical experts and sort of put into shape that the tool itself can use those as reference answers when we make updates to it. So we've actually built a tool that can self-evaluate its own performance as we update it, as we update the prompt or as we update the logic or the AI model used. We've built a framework that allows it to test itself. We will obviously continue to test it as well, but it does speed our ability to develop it. And yes, we do believe some of the things we've done are unique and will make this a more useful tool.
Absolutely. And as mentioned, you see those little thumbs up and thumbs down there. We are encouraging to use it. It is free to use. We're not charging for individual questions. It is available when you have a license, an active license that gets active with the 2-week free trial license as well too. Only limitations may be, and confirm with this true, Ed, if they don't have, let's say they have a license for only IBC and the answer pulls back a license or an answer that's in the IFC question.
Yep.
Well, let me catch myself there, because you can still view it, but it would take you to a book where you may not be able to write notes in it unless if you have the license for it.
Correct, but it's not going to limit your ability to use the
Exactly.
tool. Any premium user can use the tool and can find answers from the tool in relation to those code books, and definitely can read, all the code they need to from those answers. But yes, your tools when you go through to that code book may be limited if you don't have premium access to that code.
And then
I don't think it really diminishes the usefulness of using AI Navigator much at all.
Yep. And then, of course, everyone's asking about when we can do this same application for state amended codes. So my response is that it's just the iCodes for now. Those are planned future releases. It has been discussed. We know it's popular. I know you can't put a time frame on it, Ed, but
it is being worked on right now. So one of the things we really want to expand this to is we have many customized codes from states, some of which are very similar to our iCodes, all of which are based on our iCodes. Some of which have unique features that definitely require special training. So I would look for an announcement sometime at the beginning of next year as to when we'll be releasing a lot more custom code content on the tool as well, and then refining against that. So that work is going on right now, and I would expect to see updates from the team on this tool that we'll be publishing for the public to read about the progress we're making on it sort of every 3 or 4 weeks at this point. We're going to really try to make sure people understand the work that's going into it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we are, we are the ICC. We care about, the building codes and the protection of the public. So, as we're releasing these, great new applications, we want to make sure that they are accurate, and we'll be posting updates on it. And we do encourage you to test out those questions. There is a limit There's 200 questions. I think it resets after you've asked 200 questions. And
It actually is 100 questions every 14 days. So it's
okay.
basically set against our trial period. It is set for a user to be able to ask 100 questions every 14 days. It's been live for almost 14 days yet now, and no user. People have liked it. We do have users that have asked it quite a few questions, but nobody is getting that close to that limit yet. So, we will keep an eye on that. If we think that there's a need to raise that limit, we certainly are open to doing that. It is just put there to make sure that the tool is not abused, to be honest with you. We don't, we don't want somebody using it as their own personal scripted chatbot. So that limit is in place really not for our average user, but potentially just to limit any abuse of the tool.
Yep, no, absolutely. So, Ed, just hang out for a little bit here. There's, check the chat section as you're going there. If you got questions for Ed, go ahead and post them there. I'm going to kind of wrap this around and talk a little bit more about it. So, if there's no questions for Ed after about 5 or 10 minutes, he may leave the meeting here. I won't announce that he's leaving. We'll just continue on, but feel free to continue to post questions in the chat, and I'll make sure I'll answer those all around again. Appreciate your time, Ed. Going back to our homepage here, and I am sharing my screen, correct? Yes. So this is once again where you can see we got the scroll going across the bottom. You can jump right to the premium answers. Here's the announcement. The 2024 I codes are out. We probably have about 10 of them. You can get to, well, there's AI Navigator. Jump right in there from the homepage as you see that scrolling. Once again, right there, if you don't have I'm not signed in yet, so it would ask me to start a free trial so I have access to it. And as mentioned, it really is a free trial. We are not asking for credit card information. We will not charge you if you forget to cancel after 14 days. Just go ahead and use it. It opens up the access to our Premium Complete and the AI Navigator as well, too. And as mentioned, I'm not logged in yet, so I'll just go back to the homepage here. And here's where we were talking about the 24 I codes are being released now. We have, what are we up? Still at the 10. So there's 5 more that'll be coming out. But as they are released, those will be placed right in there. And as mentioned, I know I keep referring to it, but it's nice that when we have this on the Digital Codes platform, that you do have access to the previous cycles, and all the I codes are available to view in a free basic view. California as well. You have people asking about what states do we have amended codes for. Have them for many of them. These are the states that contract back with us specifically to produce both their print and their digital version. So when you're looking at the California code or the New York code, Florida code, this all comes from the approval from Florida with their amended updates and their finalized versions, and it will always include any of the future versions or errata or anything that they put in with new versions as well too. So I'm still not logged in, but just showing you can log into any one of these titles. And you are able to scroll through, view each one of the code sections. But where the magic happens is when we actually sign in with a particular, with your license that you have. As mentioned, most people do end up going for the Premium Complete because it has the best value for number of titles for the price. And although you're able to get single titles or collections, it's as you start combining those together, you're probably going to get up to be what the price of a Premium Complete license will be. I'm going to come back to the titles here, but I will mention, because we get a lot of questions about Premium for teams and how many licenses do I need to purchase for my team members. So I'll just go through this real quick here. We got a lot of good information on the web. But when I do have individual conversations with organizations, a lot of things come up that people like to have a little bit more clarity with. When you have the DCP, Digital Codes Premium licenses that are advertised and being sold in our shop, those can be either assigned and dedicated to someone, so it's their own license, or they can be shared. You may see some information about our enterprise platform seats. Now, seats are dedicated, so these would be a situation where someone needs to always have access to the codes, and you're not looking to, have a budget for less number of seats than users. Seats are always dedicated. A seat is the same price as a license. So if you're looking to share these licenses, you can do that with a concurrent group And that's where you can put those licenses is. So they can either be dedicated or they can be shared. Just wanted to let you know that too, as you're looking for the pricing, that you can have that option, and I can help you configure that specifically for what you need on your team. Going back to the codes, to show you a couple of the features here, I'll start with my 2021 I codes. I'll do the previous cycle here. And, as you'll see here, when you open up each title, always nice that you're going to be presented with the most recent version first. So as I said, there's any updates, any errata, we always place that information right into your licenses so you don't have to worry about putting in colored sheets of paper in, the printed formats. We've actually gone beyond the limitations of print and PDF. So as we're going through each code section, what you're going to be able to see here is that every single code section has this waffle that will allow you to create notes, send a link, or print. And here's an example. If you're using the note functionality, I just picked this chapter randomly here, but as you're scrolling through, I can see that I created a note here. If you are in a shared group where you're collaborating with your notes, nice feature about this is you're going to be able to see who made that note. You're able to organize these notes by project tags for a specific, could be address, specific commercial building or project, whatever you're working on, and any type of custom notes that you would put in here. So in this example, I created this note. These first two icons will bring up this note dialog box. And since I had highlighted this one and used the first one, it actually keeps that highlight. So just want to let you know that brings up the same dialog box, but the second one just bookmarks it and doesn't create the highlight. The second link here, or icon, will show the URL link for this. As mentioned, this is a web-based software product, so you can access this content from any device. It's not stuck on a network drive or someone's laptop like a PDF is. So therefore, as you're accessing this, if you want to copy a URL and send it to someone who may not have, their own paid license for this, they can still view this. Remember, this is an iCode that's available for free basic view at no charge. So you could send that to that person and would open up exactly to this specific code section. Now they wouldn't be able to see your notes or be able to copy and paste or any of the features that you have access to with a license. But it's kind of nice where you can refer to that specific code section and they can scroll and see any relevant section below that as well too. The last icon in each of the code sections will allow you to print or create PDFs of any section, and if there's subsections underneath it, it will offer you that option as well too. So obviously you're not going to be able to print out or PDF the entire book, but for the most part, people are just looking for sections and subsections to do this with. So as you can see, that print icon would send that directly to the printer. Or if you wanted to use that download, you could download this content directly to your desktop. As you can see, it's great. It has the authoritative source there in the footer, keeps all the formatting. You could mark this up if you wanted, but then you could save that and attach it to an email as well if you need to give someone that further explanation. As you saw here, there was a couple sections with different colored type. I'll point those out as we're here. In this case, a blue text will mean that this was a change in that section from the previous cycle of the iCode. So you are going to be able to see, for example, in 2024, as proposals are being made to change some of the code sections, you'll be able to see the proposals. You'll be able to see the proponents, the cost impact. You'll be able to see hearing videos of this. So I'm on the 2021, so this is going to be changes between 18 and 21. But as you can see, because they got the premium icon, you have a premium license that you're paying for. You'll be able to see those code change details. And this will link to other information. Obviously, only ICC is going to have this type of content. It's proprietary and unique to us, but they're going to be the proposals in their entirety. There will also be could be links to summary of the revision history or the significant changes. And here I mention actual videos of the hearings of those code changes being discussed. These are going to be here over on the Premium Insights, which I had pointed out as Ed was doing his presentation there on the Premium Answers. But if you're looking for, just those code interpretations, perhaps, you can filter those and then it will just show the chapters where those would be available. And as mentioned, if you scroll down to the bottom of the chapter, there you can see the code change details and the hearing videos again. All right, jumping over here. So I've talked about the insights here, the sections over here, and then the notes. This kind of wraps around everything I was showing you with how you could create notes. So within every title, every note that was created in here would be in this note section. And these are all hyperlinks. So if I wanted to jump right to that and be able to see the note that was written there, I would be able to do that. If you have hundreds or thousands of notes that could be in here, you are then able to use that project tag to filter them and just create a list of those notes that would be just for that particular demo tag, and that's how you can organize them there as well too. So going on with the topic of the notes, just to close that out, I'm going to go over to my premium tools. And as mentioned, once again, here's where our new features are, all those premium tools. Remember, if you purchase a license, that's the DCP, the premium part of it, and these are all the premium features that if you don't have a license are not available. But if I go to my notes and bookmarks, this is where every note, every bookmark that was created, and if you have a dedicated license, then all your notes are private just to yourself. If you happen to be in a shared collaborative group that we had talked about, then those notes would be viewable by anyone else that shares access with that group. But as mentioned here, this is every single note that I created. Once again, if I wanted to organize them by specific project tags, I could do that, and it would pull those project tags off of multiple titles. If I wanted to print those out, you would be able to print those notes out and generate a PDF. But here's the real power of it too. Let me show you the 2021 IRC, which I have. Expand that out. 12 notes there, but once again, you could have hundreds or thousands. These are also direct links. I could jump right to them from here. But when 2024 gets released for the IRC, I'm able to take all these notes, and in just a couple clicks of the button, I can move them all to 2024. If you move them, it would delete them in 2021. I think most people will probably clone them so it remains in both of the titles if you want to have historical reference. But here we go. And you could, if you wanted to go through all your notes and just select specific ones, you could. But here we go. In just a couple clicks, I'm going to be able to move all those notes forward to the next cycle. And if the code cycle section number has changed slightly for that particular topic, it knows where to place it. So all your notes will be retained in the correct place for the content that you're looking to search for. I am going to show you the search functionality real quick. I know we're running up to the point where I said I would take questions. So if you got questions, feel free to post them and I'll circle back around. I didn't get a chance to go through all the features that we have, but this is, like I said, an opportunity to make you aware of the Premium Answers and the AI Navigator. But let me show you search for just 5 minutes, and then we'll answer any specific questions that you've posted in chat. So one of the great features about having everything digitized is it's so easy to search for content across all your titles, even easier than PDFs. I speak with people who sometimes, they've gone away from print because PDF seems to have more features. But when they do a search, if you're going to search for egress, perhaps, I'm searching across 1,500 titles, which you probably wouldn't do a search of, but if you're looking through a PDF, it will bring back each one of those words where egress, and then you can tab through each one to see what it's referring to. Here, what we're able to do is provide a context of where it's coming from. You can expand out, each one of these of these breadcrumb trails here to see which chapter it's coming from, and it gives you an overview of what's being discussed in that particular code section. So obviously, you probably wouldn't do a global search of all these titles, but I did want to show you some of the refinement that you can do pretty quickly here. So if I wanted to just narrow it down to iCodes, it's going to reduce that from that 36,000 down to just under 3. But here's where also, if you have, for example, a subscription to the commentaries, or you want to look through specific states, you could narrow the search just for those as well too. Next most common filter you'd probably attach would be the cycle, which I'll do that for the 2021. So now maybe this is more of a manageable search you might perform. So I just searched for means of egress across all 15 2021 iCode titles, and I'm just under 700. If I wanted to go to an individual book, you could select that. And just to make this full circle, if I would have started, for example, in IBC and had that title open and use the search bar, it would automatically apply all these filters. So you could do a narrow search. But then you can also do a content search for figures, tables, equations, and such like that too. So here we are, as mentioned, you're able to see, oh, this one's coming from the swimming pool, this one's existing building. And if you were to click on that, you can start at the top of the chapter, top of the section, or the individual subsection. And it's kind of nice because it opens up that into a new tab and saves your original search. So you don't lose that. If it's a search you use frequently, you can save that. And I'm kind of showing you too, it's nice where you can open it in a new tab, or if you want to open it in a new window and use multiple monitors. So it's kind of has that convenience of, you know, everything you're used to using web-based software product. Let me clear the search and show you something with our search that maybe not everyone has access or familiar with, but it is kind of, I don't want to say hidden here, but the advanced term search has a lot more features available as well too. You all are probably familiar with how you could search by exact phrases, all, any, or none. I like to point out this one. This is called a near-term search. You can enter in 2 words, and when you do the advanced term search for the near-term search, it's going to look for where those 2 words are found in a code section within 50 words of each other. So you can really narrow down using that egress. As an example, let's just look for egress in a basement, so it can return the results around that quickly for you. And then once again, I'll just show you real quickly if I were to go into a specific title, which is what most people probably would use it for, but I did want to show you the global search there. You see how the search bar here has changed to be defaulting to just the 2021 IBC. So if I enter my search term there, it will keep the term narrowed just to that specific, the IBC. As you can see, it applied all those filters because it knew you started from the IBC. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left here. I'm going to circle back around and check the chat box. If there's anyone that has specific questions they want to ask verbally, I think I can, if you raise your hand, I can unmute everyone, but let me just check and see where we're at here, if there's other questions. And Ed, I said I wouldn't bother you again, but any good questions you saw or anything you want to add to?
No, I did put in there in response to Craig that, you know, I would encourage people to look for the updates that we're doing. We are really trying as much as possible to include people on the logic that we're doing. By the same token as well, I will go ahead and put the best way to contact me in there as well. And I would encourage anybody that wants to get more involved. You obviously can do your thumbs up and thumbs down on the AI Navigator tool, but I am absolutely taking volunteers if you want to write me that want to sort of have a longer form interview or sort of give even more feedback in another format on the tool. It's really helpful to us because this is something that is very much new. You know, it's very much that, you know, you can read in the updates that we've done. You know, something that we started work on only a bit earlier this year. So it's come together in record time. But we're happy to get as much feedback as we can as we progress with it, because we do really want that, and we want to make sure that our thoughts on what makes for a good tool match up with everyone else's.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for posting your email address in there, Ed. Ed asked for input on it, and he posted his email, so feel free to contact him.
People are absolutely free to do it. I can tell you, I've had about 6 or 8 people from you know, from the meeting who have not made a liar out of me. They've already contacted me, and like, we're starting that follow-up right now with people.
Well, I appreciate you being accessible to everyone, Ed. I did see one other comment here that asking about the licenses and if you can share these with people outside of your organization. And you definitely are able to. So let me just spend, I guess, 2 minutes on that, explaining that. So you can acquire licenses, and as the purchaser, they're going to be in your account. So when you acquire the license and you log into your own account here, you are able to configure these licenses, once again, under Premium Tools. You go to License Configuration. This is going to show you which licenses you have purchased. And as you can see here, it shows that I have the Premium Complete here. And every license starts out as your own personal one. So for example, if you wanted to buy 10 for your organization, they would start out as 10 personal ones. And then let's say you wanted to make a group of 2 licenses, and you would go to your tab over here. You could generate a concurrent code that you just mean you're creating a group name. All right. And we're going to go through the process, and you could put 2 licenses in there. And then this would be one of your concurrent groups. And what would happen is then your 10 personal licenses would now read you only have 8 left because you made 2 into a concurrent. But you can take that group name and you can give it to, here's a couple scenarios. Let's say you give it to 2 people. Only 2 people have that group name. There's 2 licenses in there. So they would always have access. They would never be denied access because all of them are being, all the licenses are being used. That scenario would be great if you wanted to have a group with the same number of licenses as users so they could collaborate by sharing their notes, but no one would ever get locked out because all the licenses were being used. Take that example a little bit further. Let's keep that same group of 2 licenses, but you give that out to 10 people or 15 or 20. You can give it out to as many people as you want, but the limitation will be that you can only have 2 people in that group at the same time. So simultaneous access is limited by the number of licenses that you have in there. And that specific question that was in chat, yeah, you got 2 licenses there. You can use it with the 5 people in your organization and your 2 contractors outside. Whoever has that group name is able to access that content that you have provided to them. And it's pretty easy to do. I'll show you. I have an example here. Once you enter a concurrent group, it will show up as a previously used group after you've logged in. It'll take you there, and it shows that you are in that group because the group, or my personal account, is changed to the name of that group. When I'm done in that group, I just go back to my personal account, and you'll see the group name disappears, and that confirms that I have left that license open for the next person to use. I've logged out into my own account, and we do have a auto logout feature that after 20 minutes of inactivity in a shared concurrent group, it will kick someone out so they're not monopolizing it for the rest of the people there. All right, I think I've covered everything in the chat. We're right at the top of the hour almost. What I will do is I will end the recording now, but stay on. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending this. We will get this audio recording or this web recording out to everyone that has registered for it so you can review it. I will put my information up here at the end one last time. Feel free to contact me. I'll end the recording now, but stay on the line if there's any other questions. All right, I have stopped recording. Webinar